With Skype is the journalist Girish Gupta. Girish, welcome to you. What's happening there?
Well, I was out earlier to some of the more notable plazas and revolutionary places in Caracas, and there's lots of people gathering, hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands now, of people gathering in these places. It was incredibly solemn, and that's not something we're used to from Chavistas. Normally they're screaming, passionate about their leader, and it's still passionate, but it's still passion, but it's coming in the form of tears. I mean, these people were crying. I'd go up to them and ask them what was next, how they were feeling, and they'd burst into tears. It's difficult sometimes to get across just how powerful Hugo Chávez's image was and how important he was to people. It's not like politicians in the UK or the US where they're liked. He's loved. People have a religious fervour for him. And we saw that today. You've also got the opposite in the more wealthy areas. People have told me they're celebrating. They're having a toast to the death of Hugo Chávez and looking forward to their country going back to what they say is some normalcy. So it's very, very polarised, but lots of passion from both sides.
Tell me, Girish, was the blow softened by the fact that, in a sense, people had lots of warning? I mean, he's been ill for a long time. There'd been effectively a media blackout. If not a blackout, then certainly a want of transparency. People had time to get used to the idea of life without Chávez, didn't they?
Did, in a sense. I think most reasonable people, most reasoned people, they did. They knew that this was happening. But I'd speak to some really hardcore Chavistas, and they just told me it wasn't going to happen. I spoke to them the other day at a rally by the vice president, and I said, you know, what's going to happen when Chávez does die? He's not going to die. Okay, maybe in 20 years, 30 years. He's not going to die, they tell me. So I think for them, because of this real religious fervour, this real passion that's not necessarily reasoned or logical, it has come as a shock. It's certainly come as a shock to the country because no one really knows what's next.
And, of course, whoever takes on his mantle will find it impossible to project that kind of charisma.
That's right. Elections need to be called according to the Constitution within 30 days here. Nicolas Maduro, the vice president I mentioned earlier, is likely up against Enrique Capriles, who was the opposition leader who lost to Chávez in October's presidential elections. Now, Maduro has essentially been given this Midas touch by Chávez. He was chosen as his heir, as his successor back in December before this operation, and that's frankly is going to give him the presidency. Now, the real question is, over the years, can Maduro keep up Chavismo? Can Chavismo survive without Hugo Chávez? And Maduro simply isn't Hugo Chávez. He does not have the same charisma. And there are real problems in this country. The security situation is worse than some war zones, such as Baghdad. Inflation is spiraling. There's real economic problems too. So he's got a lot to hold together. Chávez was able to do that with his charisma and the strength of his incredible personality. Let's see if Maduro can do the same.
Girish, very good to talk to you. Appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Girish Gupta there, freelance journalist, joining us via Skype from Caracas.